Hey, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I was just tweaking this a little bit. So, there's some exciting news from the world of pop culture or crime culture, I guess. Mike Tyson, who many of you may know, I'm not the biggest fan of his boxing. I'm more of a Lennox Lewis or a Vander Holyfield type of guy. I wish this person wouldn't mow their yard while I'm trying to do this broadcast. But in any event, um, very upsetting footage or very interesting footage. Mike Tyson on an airplane getting harassed by someone. Uh, he's basically getting harassed by someone, an individual on a plane who's behind him, who seems like a real jerk, to be honest with you. And the guy's kind of, I wouldn't say, I don't know if you want to say picking on Mike Tyson or just pointing out blatantly, hey, this is Mike Tyson. And there's a guy on a cell phone camera, obviously this guy's buddy, who's kind of like, oh shit, it's Mike Tyson. Yo, Mike Tyson wants mushrooms. And I don't know if they're trying to make fun with Mike Tyson or make fun of Mike Tyson, but either way, it's not a good idea because Tyson was not in the mood for it. And the next thing you see, the footage kind of clips in and clips out, and the next thing you see is a real beatdown. Yep, and he's just beating Tyson. He's beating this guy up, and then they show a clip or a couple of seconds of the guy after the beating, and his face is cut up, and he's got this sad puppy dog expression on his face. It kind of feels like the guy was baiting Tyson into beating him, looking for a lawsuit, and I'm sure there will be a lawsuit now because Tyson did get some real clean punches on the guy. This is one of those things where Mike Tyson has a history of violence. He's had roid rage incidents, or not roid rage, traffic rage, road rage, I should say, not roid rage. I take that back. I'm not a big fan of his boxing. He never avenged a professional defeat. I upset some people in this boxing pugilist group the other day because I posted that Mike Tyson never avenged a defeat, never. And these people are all excited about it. They say that Tyson lost in the amateurs to a couple of guys that he beat in the pros. Okay, fine. What I meant was Tyson never avenged a professional defeat. James Buster Douglas beat Tyson, knocked his ass out in the 10th round. Tyson never got a rematch and never asked, really, as far as I know, wanted a rematch. Don King might have wanted a rematch. I don't know if Tyson did. But basically, and then, Tyson went to jail, comes out, wins a couple of tomato can fights. Peter McNeely from Boston, amongst others. Bruce Sheldon, I think, was the guy's name. And then Tyson gets some variant of the WBC title. This is 96, and then loses it to Holyfield in the summer of 96. Gets knocked out by Holyfield. The next summer they have a rematch, and that was the famous ear bite incident boxing match. And then Tyson lost a couple of matches towards the end of his career, lost to Lennox Lewis and lost to a couple of bums. So I think he lost a total of 6 times to 5 different guys. My point is, that all being said, Tyson, 20 years later, whatever age he is, 55 or so, can still beat the hell out of people. And this guy on this airplane, I'm kind of with, believe it or not, I'm with Tyson, Team Tyson on this one, because it seems like this guy was provoking a beatdown. He was asking for it. And, typically that's not my mentality. I'm not a guy who says someone's asking for it. But if you see this footage of this guy bothering Tyson, it's very clear to me that he and his scumbag friend were trying to bait Tyson into a situation. These are not the days, folks, with this worldwide situation we're all going through with the cooties, the germs. You don't want to get on somebody's face like that. You don't want to, get in someone's general atmosphere. You don't want to get that close to people. And this guy, openly mocking Tyson, standing behind him, like the guy Tyson's in the airplane seat sitting there nicely, politely. And the kid is behind. I say the kid, the guy's probably 30 or 35 years old, standing behind him, kind of putting his finger down on Tyson. Now, the TMZ article says something to the effect that the guy had asked for an autograph, or a selfie. But then he kept on going and going and going. The guy, not Tyson, and Tyson eventually snapped. I mean, you hit the fucking bear with a stick enough times, the bear is going to punch you in the face. So if you have any comments on this, folks, this is live. This is interactive. This is a Thursday, 11/19. Unusual time for me to be here. I know I've not been doing as many tapes. I'm negotiating with a gentleman to take over my position at Monty Nefero YouTube channel. There's some negotiations going on right now. I'm taking a sabbatical. I'm working on my books. My new friend Scotty has asked if I want to come on his show soon and promote my book. So I appreciate Scotty McCoy, distance from Avalon. I'll soon be on his show promoting. But this worldwide spectacular event, Mike Tyson beating a human being, it's just so crazy to me. It's so shocking that I couldn't keep this news to myself. We've got some comments here from Tens. Gurno, nice name. I like that. Tyson's still a beast. Well, we saw him. Was that exhibition fight? Was it summer of 2020 or was it 2021? I can't remember. The last couple of years blur together. But remember that Tyson Roy Jones Jr. exhibition? Tyson looked pretty good. And look, Tyson may not be able to hold his own against, Tyson Fury, who oddly enough is named after Mike Tyson, or whoever the big boxer is of today. But as far as some schmuck on an airplane, I'm not even that stupid to make fun of Mike Tyson in person. Look, I mean, I'm not a fan of his boxing or his life, but the guy has a right to privacy. The guy has a right to take an airplane ride without being harassed. Now, the problem is for Mike, he does have a criminal history. He was in jail. I'm not making that up. That's just the truth. So I don't know if that can be used in court against him, if there's criminal charges going to come to Mike. You know what I mean? But I do feel I feel bad. Tyson was not protected by the people on the airplane. I mean, the staff was nowhere to be seen in all this madness. And folks, since this worldwide situation has started, I have not taken an airplane ride. I don't want to wear a mask for 2 or 3 hours. I'll wear a mask around here. I'll drive. I've been driving. I've driven to New England 3 times in 2021. I drove to Pennsylvania in 2020. I'm driving throughout the state of Florida. But I'm not going to get on an airplane because I just don't want to submit myself to the procedures that people have to go through these days. And I feel empathy or sympathy or whatever for the people that do have to take airplane rides, because it seems to be a major pain in the ass these days. So there you have it, folks. Now, I did want to comment on this Johnny Depp trial. Believe it or not, I'm actually kind of enamored with this trial. I didn't watch every single witness before Johnny Depp. Good point. Tens Gurno with a real good point. It's weird how Mike was an economy class flight instead of a first class. Very good point. I will say this, Tens. It's possible that the flight did not have first class, just as a possibility. Not all flights have first class that I've been on. Some flights are just kind of everybody's on the same flight. So it's possible if it was a short flight, there wasn't a first class option. It's also possible, to be honest, that maybe if Mike was paying for his own flight or someone else arranged the flight, maybe it just wasn't in the economics of whatever he was flying for him to fly first class. I mean, we take it for granted that, celebrities have to pay bills too. It's well chronicled. It's not speculation, really, that Mike has had some financial issues over the years. I mean, he was doing business with Don King. He had a big high-profile divorce from Robin Givens. So I don't know Mike's state of financial things. We would think that a guy like Mike Tyson could be in first class, but it's possible that there was a first class option and he couldn't do it this time. And maybe it was just a short flight and there was no option. But a good point. I do appreciate that. Was going to say about this Johnny Depp thing. So I've been watching Johnny Depp's testimony. So right now, today is Thursday. I'm actually behind. I'm watching Wednesday's testimony. And yesterday I was watching, I guess, Tuesday's testimony. So I'm kind of a day behind because it's very long. So I kind of have to, I watch as much as I can in a sitting while doing other things. And how do I feel about it? I feel... well, I've only heard one side of the story. I haven't heard Amber Heard's side of the story yet. But I mean, I think one thing that's tough, people may not realize this. This is in Fairfax County, Virginia, that this trial is taking place. This is kind of a conservative area. This is a suburb of DC. A lot of people here are affluent. I don't know if Johnny Depp talking about, his detailed history of being a survivor of child abuse, basically, and a survivor of drug use by his own choice and kind of by circumstance that he grew up in. I don't know if that's going to play to this Fairfax County court, people, the jury, so to speak, or the jury, as much as it would in Los Angeles or New York or Chicago. Because I just telling you, I know these people in Fairfax. They're very stiff. They're very tight around the collar. They're very conservative. It's not an artsy environment. It's not a rock and roll environment in Fairfax County, Virginia. It's very stiff with people's personalities. I would say they're kind of judgmental. And so I don't know if Johnny's doing himself any favors with all this exposition about his own personal drug use over the years. And I think what Johnny's, because this is all coming right now from what I'm watching from Johnny's lawyer asking him these questions. And my opinion is that it could be a strategy. They're trying to say, hey, let's get all this stuff up front. Yes, Johnny drinks a lot, or he's drunken a lot, or he's been through rehab and he's taken these drugs or whatever. So let's talk about that ourselves so that the defense, the Amber Heard's lawyers, can't poke holes in our argument because we'll have already exposed our own holes, so to speak. So that's a good idea. My point is that with that said, I really just don't know if that type of Fairfax County, Virginia jury is going to be very sympathetic to someone who's on the stand trying to prosecute someone else, but admitting to their own drug use and so forth. I'm just telling you, that's Fairfax County, Virginia for you. That's not how I feel about it. I'm just saying that that's what I think could come back to snakebite Johnny's side of this case. I am kind of fascinated by this thing. I haven't been watching for the last 10 years all the Twitter information about people talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I will say she's a very attractive woman. She's very pretty. But that doesn't mean she can't be possible to do all this violence, obviously. And she's also apparently had other situations where she's been found at fault legally for spousal abuse with a female partner, a girlfriend she had. I think even her wife is how they used it. So she was married to a woman before. I looked her up, very attractive woman also. And I guess Amber was in some type of domestic dispute and convicted or charged with that. So, I mean, Amber has a history here. And I wonder what happened in her life to make her like this, so violent to people that she supposedly cares about. It's a very interesting case. I did find Johnny very sympathetic in his discussion of his childhood. It was a very volatile childhood. I didn't know this about Johnny Depp. I really didn't know too much about him. But I found it to be very like I don't want to say a performance, but something that you can watch, and it's very intriguing. I mean, just it reminds me of Marlon Brando, who was Johnny Depp's hero, and Johnny Depp loved and adored Brando, and I think he kind of adopted that same sense of a gravitas. So I'm becoming more of a Johnny Depp fan with this trial. Oddly enough, it's very human of him. I think it's interesting, if Amber had made up these accusations of abuse from Johnny to her, and he's able to prove that she made it up, and apparently there's some audio tape that's already come out. I'm just behind in the whole thing. I think it's going to be very interesting. And I wonder, can she get? Is he suing her for money? Could she I mean, this is not a criminal case, so I guess he can only try to get money out of her or whatever. What an interesting situation, folks. I mean, the whole world's so goddamned interesting. You don't even have to leave the house. You just put the TV on, and it's all very exciting. So that's it, folks. Like I said, Mike Tyson. For those of you who just joined, Mike Tyson has done this horrible thing, but in an odd, bizarre way. I kind of feel like he's in the right on this one. Oddly enough, I mean, I guess there'll have to be some type of other thing. You know what I mean? So we'll discover. If there's any other further questions or comments, I might be seeing that movie later on today or tonight. That Nicolas Cage film. I missed it last week for the special preview. Trying to think if I saw there other movies. Moribus, I saw. I actually liked it. I gave it a good review. Other people are pissing on it. I liked it. I gave you Mike's instant movie review on that. I thought I did. And some other movies I've seen. Also, I watched the Will Smith show, the Bel Air series. I watched the whole series. I should do a video about that because I found it to be quite entertaining, actually. I enjoyed it. And I was never a fan of the original show. I was never a fan of the comedic version. So that's it, folks. I appreciate you checking in, 10-0. Yesterday, if you do subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, you can see that my friend Tommy DeNucci and I on Tommy's channel, Tom DeNucci YouTube channel, or Tommy DeNucci YouTube channel. That's DENUCCI. We did a very nice broadcast, spring training for actors. Tommy's a filmmaker. And he's has actually directed some pretty top people, including Don Johnson, Megan Fox, and Chaz Palminteri across different projects, Kevin Nash as well. And in this thing, Tommy Dreamer, other people that you've heard of. And in this thing, we kind of discuss what actors can do to help their careers when things are kind of slow. So if you are a potential actor, if you want to be involved in acting, I did post it in the community section of here. I've been getting some nice new things here. A person named Byers Reginald sent me a nice note. And I really appreciate that. And someone on Instagram sent me a nice note. Very exciting, folks. I see my buddy Steve has just checked in. You're welcome to make a comment. And everything is exciting. So my friend Kim, I think, was watching a moment ago. Very exciting. Mike Tyson beats the hell out of a guy in an airplane. If you need to find it, it's on TMZ, complex.com sports, / Mike Tyson film punching plane passenger in face. But like I said, folks, I'm really, I'm wondering if I can even do a thing where I share screen with you guys this video. We can try it. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, folks. Want to try to share screen? Oh boy, God, this is going to be tough. Let's see what happens, folks. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see. I don't know if it's working. I really don't. Well, I tried. I tried to do the share screen. In any event, folks. Hi, Kim. How are you? There was a big situation in Boston last night that Kim went to, and other people went to support. My friend Arthur Hugh, Allison Walter did a nice script performance, or play performance, I believe. So I'm looking forward to hearing those details. I saw some nice selfies and pictures. Hello, Steve. How you doing, buddy? Steve Barrow. Nice to see you, pal. Yeah. So, like I said, the world events. Mike Tyson beating the hell out of somebody. It caught my attention yesterday. Some of you, if you're on my Facebook, you might have seen I posted this little thing just to get a rise out of people about Mike Tyson. I said Mike Tyson never avenged a defeat, never. And it's gotten like 300 thumbs up and like 700 comments at this point in this boxing pugilist group. And then lo and behold, here we go with today, and Tyson is getting into a physical altercation with the guy. So like I said, I'm kind of, believe it or not, I'm actually on Team Tyson with this one, because if you watch the footage, the guy was kind of harassing Tyson, and you just don't do that. It's not an intelligent thing to do. I mean, to be honest, folks, people are getting stupider and stupider and dumber and dumber. And if you're going to go up to a celebrity with your cell phone and harass them, you kind of deserve a beatdown. So that's it. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel.